All right, hey guys, what's going on, everybody? So I want to talk about this statement that Napheesa Collier did in the exit interview for a press conference. So she was criticizing the way that the league front office and Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, and Cathy Engelbert pretty much was put on blast. And here are the statements that she made. And Napheesa Collier is an outstanding leader and an officer of this players union. When she speaks, people listen. We are confident that her words today speak to the feelings and experiences of many, and not us, most all our members and the leaders of the league and its teams that would be benefit from listening to a powerful statement. These players know their value, and even if the league does not, they are fighting for the legacy and the future of basketball. So that was just a statement from the WNBA. Here's the hold on, let me get the actual quotes on here. I'm gonna sum this up best in a nutshell, as I will get to show you the actual conference that was being highlighted on Twitter. But I ain't gonna show you everything because I don't want to get any kind of copy copyrights or anything like that, or any kind of strikes. But she said we have the best players in the world, the best fans in the world, but right now we have the worst leadership in the world. And here we go. Uh, uh, where he continued in her statement saying that Cathy Engelbert told Collier only losers complain about the rest because she talks about the officiating in a side conversation that she had with her. And she said, we got to go to battle every day to protect the shield for a league that doesn't value us. And also, the last part of the conversation I will talk about. Give me 1 second. Actually, let me just go to USA Today, I think. All right, here we go. So, goes on and continues to say, we had the best players in the world, the best fans in the world, but right now we have the worst leadership in the world. Collier said in a prepared statement, the real threat to our league isn't the money, is it the ratings, and is it or even the missed calls or even the physical play. It's the lack of the accountability from the league front office. And Collier's comments came 2 days after the Lynx were eliminated from the WNBA playoffs by the Mercury in Game 4 of the semifinals and elimination game. Minnesota played without Collier, who suffered a left ankle injury in Game 3, and head coach Cheryl Reeves, who served a one-game suspension for blasting awful officiating after and for her conduct following her ejection in Game 3. Collier said that she fully expects to be fined for her remarks, and it seems like anything with free speech will be fine now. She said, alluding to the string of fines lead in the postseason alone, Reeves was reportedly fined $15,000 for Game 3 remarks and behavior, while Las Vegas Aces head coach Becky Hammond and Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White Reeves fined $1K for public support of Cheryl Reeves. And our leadership answer is to be held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. Collier said, I'm not concerned about a fine, I'm concerned about the future of our sport. And our fans see it every night, coaches both winning and losing, just pointing out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. And then, of course, Here goes the commissioner for her response. Cathy Engelbert's response, where she says, "I have the utmost respect for Napheesa Collier and for the players and for all the players in the WNBA. Together, we have all worked tirelessly to transform this league. My focus is to remain on ensuring a bright future for the players and the WNBA, including collaborated on how we continue to elevate the game. And I'm disheartened by how Napheesa characterized our conversations and league leadership. But even when our perspectives differ, my commitment to the players and to this work will not waver." Um, I'll have a response to that just hours after I get done with this, but I got a lot to say about that. And when she says, lastly, that the WNBA doesn't value us, she goes on to say, who currently serves the WNBPA vice president, and she said that she decided to publicly air her grievances after repeated concerns she voiced directly to Engelbert went ignored. "I've fully grown tired for far too long. I try to have these conversations in private, but it's clear that there is no intention of accepting that there's a problem," Collier said. "The league has made it clear that it isn't about innovation. It isn't about collaboration. It's about power. It's about control and power." And Collier recalled a specific conversation that she had with Engelbert about WNBA officiating back in February during the annual season of Unrivaled, the 3-on-3 league co-founded by Collier and Brianna Stewart. And also Nneka Ogwumike also contributed to that as well. I forgot they didn't even mention her, which is crazy. "I sat across from Cathy Engelbert and asked how she planned to address officiating issues in our league. Her response is, well, only the losers complain about the refs," Collier said. Collier said that Engelbert had a cavalier attitude on ongoing CBA negotiations and players' salary. Nothing. We go to battle every day to protect the shit that doesn't value us. And I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Beckers, who are clearly driving a massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin Clark should be grateful to make $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. Wow, okay. That was a blanketed statement that you just blasted the fans that watched Caitlin Clark, saying that she wouldn't make anything if she was not on the WNBA court. That is just wild. Collier continued in the same conversation. She told me players should be bending on their knees, thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. And that's the mentality driving our league from the top. The league believes that it succeeds despite its players, not because of them. And Collier goes on to say the WNBA leaders are tone deaf, dismissive, and revealed that Engelbert hasn't reached out to her this year, including after she suffered a left ankle injury in the chaotic closing minutes of the Lynx Game 3 loss to the Mercury, further highlighting the divide between league leadership and its players. All right, so this is the whole statement that she made, criticizing how Cathy Engelbert did not reach out to her. The WNBA, players, the WNBA front office did not reach out to her after the Game 3 loss and suffering the left ankle injury. And here is my thoughts about what Cathy Engelbert said in response to the exit statement and interview that she made in that press conference. Before I'll get to Napheesa's whole comments, because there was a lot of really good things that she said. But first off, this was probably the most blanketed, just incomprehensibly ignorant statement I think I've ever heard from a commissioner. First off, number one, why in the world this is the best response that you can give to a WNBA player who was a part of the WNBPA Players Union, who is trying to help transform and push the league further to get better. This is the response you gave her? Like, what kind of nonsense is this? What kind of nonsense is this? I don't understand the nonsense that comes with it. And then, first off, you gotta understand, Cathy Engelbert, you follow a pecking order from a lot of the league front office. You have become the face. You're not supposed to say what the front office is supposed to be ignored. And I would have thought that you said that you were supportive of the players. The way you came back and responded to the exit interview statement did not show support of any of the players. And then you said how Caitlin Clark and the rest of the players should be thankful that I've gotten endorsement deals and so, and she wouldn't be making $16 million off the court. First off, they would have gotten those kind of deals regardless of the fact it's because of their name and because of their star power when they was in college. What in the world are you talking about? That just made no sense. Like, at all. Made no sense. And by the way, if you realize what these universities and schools that they came from, they graduated from, like, you're gonna see Juju Watkins when she comes into the league and so on and so forth. They're gonna be immensely popular because of their name, because of the way they brung the fight towards on the collegiate level, especially Fee when she came out of UConn. And by the way, I've seen people want to try to make statements about Napheesa Collier, like, oh, she's like a tier 2 player, she's a tier behind, and all this different stuff. Okay, let me just remind y'all who Napheesa Collier is before I even get to more of Cathy Engelbert's statement. Napheesa Collier, who was a 5-time WNBA All-Star. She is a Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year nominee, and a 1 Defensive Player of the Year. She is a 1-time All WNBA Defensive First Team, 2-time All WNBA Defensive Second Team. She is a 4-time All WNBA First Team, 3-time All WNBA Second Team. Like, what in the world are we talking about? And she was an MVP frontrunner. What are you talking about? So, if you guys are trying to criticize somebody who was a representative of that players union, I happen to just tell you that is just a stupid thing to really even criticize, especially on her sake. And mind you, as we already know, her and Breanna Stewart co-founded on Arrival the 3-on-3 league. And trust me, if Kelsey Mitchell, Paige Beckers, or any of them start to go over to that league, you already see Chelsea Gray and Skylar Diggins and so on and so forth are over there right now having that 3-on-3 competition. Also Angel as well. If they see more of that Unrivaled, and if they ever have to do the 5-on-5 tournament, the WNBA is pretty much gonna go a little bit. The league is gonna be done after the next 3 to 5, possibly 7 years out of there. It's gonna be out of there, man, because they're not gonna take the nonsense that comes with it from the commissioner and the front office. And so for Cathy Engelbert to say this crap about, CC and the rest of the players, and then she goes on to say they should be on their knees and thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal. That's what you're supposed to do, Cathy Engelbert, because number one, they try to expand their brand and their horizon because these girls take media classes, these girls take sports league classes, okay? They take courses, activities, they do outdoor activities on the game. They study it, they watch film. I can tell that she's not really in tune and accustomed to the women that's out there doing this thing, because if she really was, she would not be making statements like this. She would not be making remarks and comments like this. And shout out to the guys over there at Star Hoop Central, Showtime on Point Sports, Prince IMZO Media, Key BB Success, I believe, and HDTV. Welcome to HDTV. They also talked about this too, and also Auntie Sess. They all talked about this, uh, and also not only in Stars Hoop Central, they also talked about it in collaboration on all their pages. So they also made statements that are probably better than mine, comments that are better than mine, but they made a video talking about this whole thing, and I had to agree 100%. You basically are limiting the platform and just going out and just sending fines because you suspended Cheryl Reeves for Game 4 of the semifinals, which I thought that was complete bullcrap. That was complete bullcrap. You know how many times we seen coaches storm on the court? You know how many times I seen that? I seen that all my freaking life. Coaches storm on the court like that often. Hell, even last year before Stephanie White got there with Chrissy Size. I mean, I've seen it all happen. Nate Tibbetts and Noah Osaki for the Seattle Storm coach. Like, and even we could go into the NBA. We've seen coaches storm out like that all the time to run for a timeout or to complain about poor officiating. And then what also needs to be talked about is this: you can't have the same officials from another game in Game 3 call another Game 4 for the Fever and the Vegas Ace. You can't have those same officials call from another game and travel over to call another game. That would be stupid. That's stupid, and that is completely confirmational. That's completely explicit in confirmational bias because their calls could be biases towards one team that could go to the free throw line more. They could get more calls and more replays and more challenges, and a little bit more challenges if they're successful on instant replay. So that's the main problem. They could be the confirmation of misjudgment of judgment towards another team. They can show bias towards another team, and being all in favor and cahoots of another team. So that's why you don't have the same officials. You need to go out and go get better league officials to call a different game, man. That's stupid. That's stupid and that's idiotic. And also malpractice. That's complete malpractice. If you ever even seen it. And also, what Cathy Engelbert's statement, what she made is complete ignorance and negligence towards the talent in response. Because it's just like, why would you even say these kind of things? I just don't understand, in my opinion. And I think that she needs to step down as the commissioner, in my opinion. She needs to resign. Because if she gonna make statements like this and not as be informable and as in all and really in support, like she says that she's supposed to be, I think that she really needs to resign and step down. Because you're talking about a representative in the resume that I just told you guys about is saying this. That is a problem. And of course, you saw finally CC spoke out in support, but Asia Wilson spoke out in complete support, along with Coach Becky Hammond, Cheryl Reeves, her coach, and also the players, like Skylar Diggins, Nneka Ogwumike, Sabrina Ionescu, and Brianna Stewart, and the rest of them. I probably would think they already had spoke out in support of her comments, of Napheesa's comments, and they know it's coming from a genuine place. And they know she got a lot of things going on personally, like out the court. So these things probably had nothing to do with this current playoff run that they were on. This was just going on probably during the season and during last year as well. So I think that this is just something that she wanted to get off of her chest and air out. And I'm glad she did, because at the end of the day, the writing was completely on the wall. Absolutely on the wall. So yeah, this had nothing to do with their loss that they suffered against the Phoenix Mercury, and I will be calling game one between the Mercury and the Las Vegas Aces later on. So you'll see me back here live again talking about that. I got a couple more videos that I'm gonna make in tune to that as well. So I will be back here making those. I got a couple of album reviews that I'm gonna be coming out with you guys today also, and probably tomorrow. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And yes, I do agree 100% with Napheesa's statements. I think she made some really good examples on how the frustration with the players and her frustration with the league and Cathy Engelbert should be representing her. And I personally believe she needs to resign and step down, because if you're gonna be like this towards the talent, what brings the next crop of talent that's gonna come out in this year's draft from 25 to 26? How you gonna feel about that? And plus, the new CBA negotiations has pretty much already been underway. I want to know how that's gonna go. But other than that, I want to say thank you guys for watching and liking and sharing and subscribing. Helps the algorithm, helps the channel out a lot. And yeah, I am out. Peace.